Hello, my name is Sydney, and my book review is about On Politics, History of Political Thought from Herodotus to the Present by Alan Ryan. And this book covers both history and philosophy in a blend of ancient and modern ideas. And it begins with Herodotus and the Greeks, and Alan explains the beginning of our own political ideals and how we borrowed them from the Greeks. And he's taking the history of the Greeks and using it to describe how we arrived at our current usage of certain words like politics, democracy. And then Ryan imbues philosophy with the context of history. So he goes into the Romans, the Christians, he covers Machiavelli before he shifts into the modern world and begins covering John Locke and the Revolution and Rousseau to Karl Marx. Alan demonstrates how political ideology shifts depending on the time and societal development. So I would recommend this book to anyone who wants to gain a deeper understanding of how history and philosophy connect. And I think Ryan does a phenomenal job of relating the two subjects without becoming long-winded, because there is a lot of content that he's covering, but he keeps it interesting, and I never felt like I was bored while reading this. I think this book would be applicable for 8th grade world history, 1500 to the present, but because this book covers so much content, I would probably split the book up into manageable sections. That way students can have a better grasp of the content. It's not so much at one time. But I do think his writing is accessible for students in the 8th grade. I think, like I said, chopping the sections up would make it more manageable, but I don't think that his writing style is above their heads. And the lesson plan that I would make using this book would cover the Alabama State Standard for Alcos number 5, which is describe the rise of absolutism and constitutionalism and their impacts on European nations. And Ryan does cover some of this in his book. I would ask the students to analyze the writings on Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, both of which are part of the content standard. Those are chapters 12 and 13. And mostly I would be trying to get students to understand their views on absolutism. I would ask them things like, what made these views prevalent? And why would people of the time accept this view? Or, what would change to make them reject this view? What kind of philosophical or societal expectations are changing for them to be able to reject this? And I think this book could be referenced throughout the lesson to show students how philosophy and history connect, as well as with politics, and just how those kind of change over time, especially within our own time. And I think this could keep students interested in how old ideas continue to shape the present and shape our understanding of history. So yeah.